Painting a bubble is a nightmare. You have so many reflections inside, and plus it's a sphere, so everything is curved, it's reflecting. The people taking the photo, all the lights around, it's yeah, it's quite difficult. But I want to simplify it because there is no need to get your life so complicated. Bonjour, I'm Cécile, a French artist, and I strongly believe that art should be fun. I want you to have fun with me today with painting Christmas bubbles. So you can download the reference image under the video in the description. This is a copyright-free image from Unsplash. The first thing is to make the background. I'm making kind of a blurry background with various colors. I'm trying to follow the reference image here. And then I will make bokeh in the background. Bokeh is kind of tricky to paint with gouache, and I have detailed this in one of my live painting sessions, the one with the mushrooms, the whimsical mushrooms, not the red one. I have the link somewhere here and in the description as well. And if you want a full tutorial, I detail this in my membership. This is one of the December tutorials. Once you have placed all your colors and as it's in the background, it needs to be blurred a bit. And to blur it, I spray with tap water and then using a flat brush, I'm just rubbing gently the edges of the shapes to get this blurry effect. The only thing is you need to have enough paint to do this. If your paint in the background is too thin, you won't be able to blend properly. Once you have finished your background and that it's fully dry, you can trace the circle for the bubble. You could use a compass or any other round shape that you could trace around. That's fine. Just use a regular pencil and trace it. And for the branch, I will make just a light drawing. I just need an indication to know where is the main branch, and the rest of the needles, I will paint them directly, no need for a drawing. I must say, this was not the clever way to do it. I should have traced my bubble first and reserve the background with the white of the paper. Now I have a ton of paint under the bubble, and before applying the red paint, I need to place kind of a protective layer there, and for this I'm using just white, regular white, and as you can see, I'm lifting up a bit of the green in the background, but that's fine because I will add another layer of red on top. Well, I mean several layers for sure. And while it's drying, I can paint the needles on the branch. And I'm using my new toy, which is this reservoir liner brush, so-called petticoat brush in French. I love it. It's really cool. The only thing, you need to use a very watery consistency for your gouache, otherwise you won't be able to load the reservoir in the brush. And then I can go and play with different colors and make some needles. It's important that you vary the angle of the painting as well. Now, beware, you just need to make sure that the white paint is totally, completely dry. I know that gouache is drying very fast, but make sure this is dry, because otherwise you will lift up the white and you will get pink. And from now, I have just one advice for you. You have to follow the reference image. Don't paint what you think it is. Just paint what you see. And simplify it a bit, because the reference image is quite complicated. It's better if you just lower the number of shapes you will paint inside. Anyway, the brain is able to understand what it is, just because it's round, it's red, and it's inside some pine needles. So the brain knows already that it's a bubble, it's Christmas. So you really don't need to bother too much. This is, I know, the brain is not looking at something, it's just checking in its database. Well, it's round, it's red, what could it be? Oh, looks like oh yeah, it's a bubble. So don't spend too much time on this, unless this is your style, of course. I want to add some gold because it's Christmas and It's a good excuse to use gold. This is poster paint, but you could use acrylic or gouache or ink or whatever you have that is gold. It could be even some Posca marker or whatever. The idea is to have some gold inside this painting because it's more glittery, it's more fun. And while I have gold on my brush, I want to add some more circles in the background with the gold paint, and I don't want the paint to be always the same size, so just very small, medium, large ones, and it can be just little dots to show the sparkling, and more gold for the reflections inside the bauble. And as I said, don't bother too much, just try to mimic what you see in the reference image and just go for it, have fun. And vary the size, just make sure that what is close to the edge is exactly following the edge with a rounded shape. This is the most important. But as much as I love gold, it's not enough showing the bright reflections. For this I'm using titanium white. This is the whitest white you can get, and as I say all the time, don't use titanium for your mixes. It's not meant for this, it's really meant for highlights. So pure paint, very clean water, very clean brush, obviously, and here and there with a light hand, I add some highlights. And when it's dry, it's time to add some vermilion red. This one is very bright and it will show even more differences in the reflections on the bubble. So far I've been using crimson red in the background with a bit of black to darken it, gold, pure white, and now adding pure vermilion, maybe mixing a tiny bit of yellow inside just to lighten it a bit, but at this stage you don't want to add white to your red or you will get pink, and it's not a pink bubble. While I have the red paint on my brush, I want to add some red bokeh in the background, just because we are supposed to see some other bubbles that are very blurred in the background. I should be doing larger circles, but that would be really too overwhelming in this composition. I just want to add a bit more red because so far I feel that the background is a bit too green, so it's just to balance the colors. And the final touch is a bit of shadow inside the gold metallic part that is holding the bauble to the tree and just suggesting a light string. Yeah, just like this. I think that's it. Yeah, that looks great. I love it. It's really what I wanted. The focus is on the bauble and the background is kind of blurry. So, good job. I'm happy. Are you? Well, I wonder which one is the best. The earrings or the crown? I don't know.